Well, it looks like I got about an inch or 2 inches of U-joint hanging down in there past the frame. I'm all the way up against the frame here, or close to it. The motor's twisted. I might be able to pry it. I might have to take off that thermostat housing and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. Looks like I only have to go forward like maybe an inch with that motor. I might be able to get a little more out of this. That's all loose, so this will probably raise up a little. But that's what I got to do, is pry it forward long enough to get that U-joint over that back frame rail and then up into the housing there. Okay, pulled my thermostat housing out here. I was able just to work it back and forth a little. The only thing it's holding is an O-ring and a couple bolts there. So that gave me quite a bit of room, 1.5 inches or so. I think that's going to be enough to pull that U-joint forward. We will see. I could probably just try to pry on it right now. See what I got. You can see down there, but yeah, nothing's moving. So I'm probably hung on something. But anyway, the motor should be able to come forward now, so looks like my straps are not even holding it anymore. Probably ought to go around the front here across the top. Yeah, I'll just keep playing with it. Looks like the shifter pivot's hitting the frame here. Trying to find a good place to pry. Don't look like much of anywhere to pry. There's a place, maybe. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's moving. I need to put a jack under it to keep from chewing up that frame. But I moved it until it contacted here. Yeah. And we're close to contacting over here. Maybe a little jacking of the front end up. And how close I am on this U-joint. Boy, looks like not much, maybe a 1/2 inch. I don't have a 1/2 inch up here in front, but I don't know what I'd have to do to. Oh, Jesus, boy, that hurt. I just squashed the shit out of my finger. This little thing, guys, don't jack up motors and stick your fingers in the hole and wiggle stuff. Yeah, usually painful. Yeah, it moved back my inch again. So I need to take a little weight off of it with a jack. It's just hanging here right now. Just go under there anywhere that's good, I guess. And let's 1 to twist the frame. I'm sort of into my frame mount right there, but I should be able to still move the motor forward, and I got about an inch over there. Looks like I'm back in the middle of my U-joint. I'll just try to pry some more. Alright, it looks like the back of the motorcycle's going down. Oh man, it's clear. I really need two guys on this. I'm holding the board here with my shoulder. Basically, I need the back of the motorcycle jacked up now. I don't know if I can pry it. Yeah, board fell out. I'm setting on my pry bar. Oh, I almost got it. Oh, it's going. Oh man, this is dangerous as hell. Almost got it up. I could run somebody back in there with a little jack right now. And just pick up the back of this thing a little. My straps on the other side. Let me see if I can. Ah, shit. Fell out. Anyway, I can see what I gotta do. Is jack up the back. We've got that other big old nasty jack I can put under there. And then use a board right here. Pry it forward. I think that'll be the solution. Alright, well, I got it where the U-joint will clear the frame. I've got it blocked up in here with the board so it won't slide back. Looks like I've got a little room over here. Looks like probably all I have to do is jack it up. Maybe I can slide that jack over a little more. It may be good enough as it is. Let's see what it does if I do jack it. Well, it doesn't seem to be wanting to lift the motor any. And I'm killing my space here. I think part of the trouble is I've got this this strap here holding it, pulling towards the back instead of pulling toward the front. That might make some difference. Let me see if I can loosen it without dropping everything. Yeah. I'll rearrange this, put it up here over this tank, and try to pull forward on it a little more. Well, none of that did me any good. I wound up prying on it, moving the frame around. Now I got the motor kind of out to the side again. Now I don't know how much trouble it would be to break that nut loose right there and just take off that U-joint. Hopefully it would just be splined and slide right out. And if that'd be the case, this thing should go together pretty easily. I'm going to read in the book and see what it says about taking that thing off. And I can break it, I'm sure. Whether or not I can get that U-joint off of there without a puller, it should come off. Guess I'll find out. Morning, guys. I gave up on this last night. Now I've played with it a little today. I've got the frame right in here between the two exhaust studs. Right here I've got just a little bit of play in it. On the U-joint over here, it's just, I mean, I don't even have a, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch, and I seriously don't think I have a 1/4 inch here anywhere. I've tried prying on the motor. I'm pretty much against the frame there. Don't know what is wrong. Most likely somebody that knows vmaxes and look at this and say, oh, you dummy, that won't go in that way. You got to do it front down and jack the back up and put the U-joint in first. To be honest with you, I really don't know. I'm at the point here where I've got just a hair of movement. I've got a 1/4 inch back here between the frame and the housing. This is actually kind of contacting the frame there, but if it was moved over just a little, it would clear. At least, maybe. And wiggling it around like that, looks like it's giving me just a little room back there. I don't know. I've tried to put a screwdriver in the U-joint and rotate it up onto the frame, and that's really not working out too well. I've tried to find the widest part of the U-joint, which is right in here somewhere. And try to board here on the frame and motor. See, I'm putting pretty good pressure on it. It's moving just a little. Still not enough to get this U-joint past the frame. That's the worst part right there. That looks like the best place. I'm 1/4 inch out there. Probably if I put enough pressure on it, I could kind of tweak the frame enough to get 1/4 of an inch. Basically, I don't know. I thought I'd have a fresh look at it in the morning. This is the morning. I don't have any more ideas. I'm gonna try to do something to force that U-joint around the frame. I don't even know if that'll do me any good. But I'm at the end of my rope. At least my how to put a VMAX motor back in rope. I'll just have to keep plugging and see what happens. Yeah, that was pretty easy. Those little clips just hold the bearings on, and once you get them both off, then this thing comes right out. So it was pretty easy out here. I don't know how easy it's going to be to try to do it inside the motor or inside this hole here. But I can't really see the clip from this side. It really don't make any difference which one I take off. You know, it's just a matter of trying to get it where I can actually, you know, I only have to take one off. I don't have to take the U-joint all the way out. I think it might be enough just to move it to the side. So actually, yeah, if it was moved to the side, I think if I take this bottom clip right there off, I'll probably be able to tap it down and get it off. No, this is not the right way to do this for sure. I'm just trying to get it in with the best I can do. Well, that worked, of course. Got the U-joint apart, and I obviously have a tremendous amount of room here now. I don't have to worry about all this bullshit anymore. Never thought of that before, take the U-joint apart, but putting it back together, that's not that hard. I don't know, I probably ain't got a hell of a lot of room in there, but at least now I can get the motor turned around and centered in the frame, and at least put back into where I need it to go, and then I can probably get to that U-joint and put it back in. So let's just try a little jack in here. Yeah, that's just going up like nobody's business. Yep. So little more fooling around and get this thing off of this front frame here and get it squared up in the frame again and get all my little straps and everything hooked back the way that they should go and press on. Yeah, I'm not home free by a long ways, but here's the U-joint and the boot. Just stick this in here just to see. Yeah. It looks like it's possible to take that U-joint off if it's on the shaft. Right now it's about right here, so that would be where it's got to go to not be on the shaft. Oh, it looks like again I'm back to the same old, got to move it forward. And I only got about 1/4 of an inch there to get past this aluminum drive shaft housing. But I got a lot of room over here. Looks like I got a stud, exhaust stud up against the frame right there. I probably ought to take it out. This is really, sure hope you don't think this is a how-to video, because I'm making every mistake in the book here. Some that's not even in the book. Anyway, I'll just jack it around and see what I can do about getting this motor over and centered and more level, and so I can get this U-joint on. Alright, moved it around. I've got it hitting something. Oh, I'm on the jack. Probably pushed the frame over. Anyway, I just gotta, looks like it'll go right past that metal there. Just need a little prying, and basically got to take the back of the bike over to the right instead of trying to bring the motor to the bike. Maybe take the bike to the motor, but I'm real close. Everything's jacked up here. I'm back against my frame here on one side. It's obviously kind of twisted in the frame, so once I move it over, that'll give me more room in the front. You know, it's probably been a lot less work just to take that swing arm off. Anyway, press on here and see if I can get it over there and get that U-joint back on. Alright, motor is mostly in and pretty straight. Looks like I got it twisted a little there. That's a matter of figuring out the right place to jack it to pull it straight. But what I gotta do here is somehow I've gotta align these U-joints wherever this one happens to go. Yeah, me and my one-handed mechanic in here. This is the I don't know if this is the right one or not. Probably. Let me put this on with 2 hands. So I'm to have to move this strap. I'll hook it up here to the exhaust. Reposition my straps and move this boot. See if it's even going to be possible to put that U-joint together with this thing all close. I think I can do it. Not going to be easy, but I probably can. We'll see. Well, that's pretty close. A little bit of jacking or this or that, and I think I can get this lined up enough to put that U-joint back together. I can obviously punch it from this side and turn it around and punch it from the other side. So probably if there's any vmax mechanics watching this, they're probably crying with laughter. Yeah, I don't blame them. I would too, probably. And you got to make sure the bearings don't fall out or fall over inside the cup, because then you can't get your circlip on, and yeah, it's a disaster. So you just have to, if you're going to do something like this, just be very careful, go very slow, and you should work out alright. This is not on the shaft anymore. It fell off when I was fooling around with it, but I figure it's more important to get the U-joint together, and then I can figure out how to get it on that shaft a little later. Alright, I got both cups in, and they're on right. It looks like I can knock that other one in this way just a little more so I can get that clip down on it, and then I can rotate the motor around 180 degrees, or the drive shaft there, and do the same with the other one, because I can get a pretty good hit from the other side. I actually can from this side too. I'll drive this one on a little more. Okay, I got that clip started there on that one, and just need to get over there and tap it down onto the, this is probably not going to work. Here, shit, knocked my clip out, but anyway, hope it didn't fall in there someplace. My God, I shouldn't be doing this stuff one-handed. Well, now comes the search for the clip. Alright, I found it, got it out. I put this other clip in, you can see here on the bottom. Now I just rotate this around and punch it in as far as I can, and I put that other clip on there. Alright, that's it. Got everything in there and all the clips on good and tight. They're all seated properly. I looked at it from both sides. Now I just have to do whatever I gotta do to get that on the shaft. Looks like it's got to come up a little bit, obviously, and back. But anyway, at this point, it's all kind of in there, and once I get it started on that shaft, I should be able just to let this motor down. I'm going to have to put all the motor mounts and everything in it first. I don't want to get it set down here and then find out I didn't have a motor mount in it. So, major step in the saga finished. Motorcycle shop's having a barbecue today, so I'll probably run down there. My lot full of weeds, but nice day. I think I got a V65 Magna I'll fire it up, take it down to the barbecue, and right now I'm gonna just get this drive shaft started, sit down a little bit so I know that this part of the job is gonna work. Well, there it is. Turning the rear wheel here. Looks good. One thing I didn't do, I should have, is grease those U-joint splines in there. But too late to do it now. It's all back together. And even kind of looks better, still crooked in the frame, but at least I can start letting it down and everything and fool around with it. I'll have this thing all put back together today, bolted up. I still got a lot of cleaning and stuff, and I did chew up my frame a little bit fooling around with this. But anyway, there's a tip for you. If you don't know how to take one of these out, you can take that U-joint apart, and it is possible to put it back together and get it back into the frame. Alright, next step, I got that big jack out of there, and I've got it aligned here. I put my lower motor mounts in it. I'm not really sure which way that angle's supposed to go, but they're almost aligned here and back on both sides, and the book says to put them in, stick a bolt loosely, and then we fool around and put the other side of this frame and stuff on. I think I've got it where it'll pull back some. I probably ought to take this strap here loose and put it on that side of the bracket so it's pulling it backwards. I think that's what I'll do. I'll just jack it up here real quick and move that strap. Moving along here, I got the motor in and straight. Got the motor mounts on that side and this cross member motor mount in. Turns out these flat points on the rubber mounts, you can see on that one it's got a like an angle, so the flat goes on those parts. I assume it would be the same on all of these, just a flat part goes to give you a little room. They probably made just one to fit everything. Probably don't even need a flat one on these front ones, but then you'd have different motor mounts and save a lot of money. Anyway, I've got some brackets that go on here and bolt into that little cross member, and I can't find them for the life of me. I know when I took them apart, I took them apart and put the bolts in them so I wouldn't have any trouble finding them again. Obviously I put them somewhere and they're gone. So I'll keep digging, I'll find them pretty soon, but basically that's motor's in. It's not being held up by anything, no jack, no anything, just on its own motor mounts. So probably one long day away from riding this if I want to clean it up and everything. ain't going nowhere until I find my motor mount plates. I keep digging.